Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum. Welcome to online lecture. Today our topic is acid and bases and the concept of about acid and bases. This topic consists of introduction of acid and bases, different concepts about acid and bases, types of acid and bases, and amphoteric substance. First of all, we should know about the general introduction of acid and bases. Acids are the soluble, water soluble compound having sour taste, turn blue litmus paper into red color, react with some metals to liberate hydrogen gas, or react with bases to form salt. Generally, acids have pH value less than 7, while bases are the water soluble compounds having bitter taste turn red litmus paper into blue color and react with acids to form salts. And the pH value of bases generally above than 7. Now, different concepts about acids and bases. There are three concepts about acid and bases. The first one is Arrhenius concept. According to Arrhenius concept, acids are those substances which contain hydrogen and produce hydrogen ion in aqueous solution. For example, hydrochloric acid, nitric acid, H2SO4, carbonic acid, etc. These are the example of acids, because if we dissolve it in water, so these give hydrogen ion in aqueous solution. That's why these are known as acid. While bases are those compounds which contain hydroxyl group or produce hydroxyl ion in aqueous solutions are called bases. For example, sodium hydroxide, potassium hydroxide, magnesium hydroxide, ammonium hydroxide, lithium hydroxides are the example of bases because these contain hydroxyl group. If we dissolve these in water, so they give hydroxyl ion in aqueous solution. Now, different types of acid and bases. There are two types of acids. For example, monoprotic acids and polyprotic acids. Monoprotic acids, as the name indicates, mono means one, protic means proton. Proton means hydrogen positive ion because hydrogen atom contain one electron and one proton having no neutron. So if that electron can be removed by some amount of energy, so only proton is left. That's why the hydrogen positive ion is known as proton. So those acids which provide one proton per molecule are called monoprotic acids. For example, hydrochloric acid, nitric acid, hydroiodic acid, hydrobromic acid, etc. are the example of monoprotic acid because these contain only one hydrogen ion per molecule. Now, polyprotic acids, those acids which provide more than one hydrogen ion per molecule are called polyprotic acids. For example, H2SO4, H2CO3, H3PO4. These are the example of polyprotic acid because these contain more than one hydrogen ion per molecule. H2SO4 and H2CO3, these are the example of diprotic acid. These are also known as diprotic, while H3PO4 is known as triprotic acid because it contains 3 hydrogen ion per molecule. Now, bases, there are two types of bases, that is monoacidic base and polyacidic base. The first one is monoacidic base. Those bases which provide one hydroxyl ion per molecule are called monoacidic bases. For example, sodium hydroxide, lithium hydroxide, potassium hydroxides, ammonium hydroxide, etc. because these contain one hydroxyl group per molecule. While polyacidic base, those bases which provide more than one hydroxyl ion per molecule are called polyacidic base. For example, beryllium hydroxide, magnesium hydroxide, or aluminum hydroxide. These contain more than one hydroxyl group per molecule. Among these, beryllium hydroxide and magnesium hydroxide is known as diacidic base, while aluminum hydroxide is known as triacidic base. Now, amphoteric substance. Amphoteric substance can be defined as those substances which behave like acid in basic solution, as well as like base in acidic solution, are called amphoteric substance. For example, water, beryllium hydroxide, aluminum oxide, aluminum hydroxide, etc. are the example of amphoteric substances. For example, acting as acid in basic solution. When water reacts with ammonia, so in this example, water acts as an acid. Similarly, acting as bases in acidic solution. When similar water is combined with hydrochloric acid, so in this case, water acts as base because it accepts proton. While in the above example, water loses proton, so the proton donor species is known as acid, while the proton acceptor species is known as base. Other example also given, so carefully watch it. Now, second concept, Bronsted and Lowry concept. According to this concept, acids are those substances which donate or tend to donate proton to other substances, while bases are those substances which accept or tend to accept a proton from other substances. For example, when hydrochloric acid reacts with ammonia, so it gives ammonium chloride. In this example, hydrochloric acid donates proton, while that proton is accepted by ammonia due to presence of lone pair of electron with the nitrogen atom of ammonia. So hydrochloric acid is an acid while ammonia is a base. Other examples are also given. For example, the last one is hydroiodic acid when react with ammonium hydroxide. So in this example, hydroiodic acid is an acid because it donates proton. It donates proton while ammonium hydroxide is a base. Now, conjugate acid base pairs. First of all, we should know about the conjugate acid and conjugate base. Conjugate acid, a species which is produced after gaining a proton from an acid and acts as an acid, is called conjugate acid of that base. While conjugate base, a species which is produced after losing a proton to a base and acts as a base, is called conjugate base of that acid. Carefully watch the example. For example, hydrochloric acid when react with ammonia, so it will convert into ammonium ion and chloride ion. So ammonium ion is produced by gaining a proton from acid by ammonia. So when ammonia accepts a proton from acid, so it will convert into ammonium positive ion. Now ammonium positive ion has the ability to lose a proton. So according to Lowry and Bronsted concept, ammonium ion is an acid which is known as conjugate acid. So this is the conjugate acid of ammonia base because it is produced by ammonia. Similarly, chloride ion. Chloride ion is the negative ion which is produced by losing a proton from the acid, that is hydrochloric acid. Now chloride ion has the ability to accept a proton, so the acceptor species of proton is known as base according to Bronsted and Lowry concept. So it is a conjugate base of hydrochloric acid. The other examples are also given. The point to be noticed, conjugate acid is always a positive species and conjugate base is always a negative species. Now conjugate acid base pair. In the above example, ammonium ion is the conjugate acid and its base pair is ammonia. Hydronium ion is the conjugate acid and its base pair is water. Similarly, chloride ion is the conjugate base and its acid pair is hydrochloric acid. Hydroxyl ion is the conjugate base and its acid pair is nitric acid. Now the last concept, which is known as Lewis concept. According to Lewis concept, those substances which accept lone pair of electrons from others are called acids, while those substances which donate lone pair of electrons to other substances are called Lewis bases. For example, when ammonia reacts with hydrochloric acid, so it will convert into ammonium chloride. So in this example, nitrogen of ammonia has a lone pair of electron. So this pair of electron is donated by ammonia molecule into hydrochloric acid. So the electron donor species is ammonia, so it is the Lewis base, while hydrochloric acid is the acceptor of lone pair of electrons, so it is a Lewis acid. Other examples are also given. For example, the last one example, chloride negative ion when react with aluminum trichloride. So in this example, the lone pair of electron donor species is chloride negative ion because it has more electron, while aluminum chloride is the electron deficient center, so it accepts that electron pair, so it is a Lewis acid. Point to be noted, Lewis acids are negative or electron sufficient, while Lewis bases are positive or electron deficient species. In the above example, ammonia is the neutral but has extra pair of electron, so it is Lewis base. Chloride ion is the negative species because it has more electron, so it is Lewis base. Hydrochloric acid is the neutral species. It can accept a lone pair of electron. Hydrogen ion is the electron deficient center, so it also accept a lone pair of electrons, so it is a Lewis acid. Aluminum trichloride is a Lewis acid because if we draw the structure of aluminum trichloride, so we will find that aluminum has less electron than its octet, so it requires 2 electrons to complete its octet. That's why it acts as Lewis acid. So dear students, carefully watch the video. If it is fruitful for you, then like, share it and subscribe my YouTube channel. Thank you.